drivers of the world economy in the future are going to be the creative skills of children and young people. And this is having a major impact on educational planning in different countries. Why this is relevant here is that most countries in the world are now looking at how to nurture the creativity of children and young people in education. And what's amazing about being able to come and spend 3 weeks at the Agastya campus here and to look across the range of programs is this is one of the most sophisticated and mature interventions in creativity, because like us, where I come from, Agastya is concerned with the development of creativity in children and young people, with a particular focus on children from disadvantaged backgrounds, which is why they focus almost exclusively on government schools here in India. But they have been doing it for 15 years. So all the time, Agastya is taking this to the next level, looking at the next challenge, looking at how to make their programs more impactful and more sustainable in the learning environment in which they are. And therefore there is a huge amount of learning to be able to see how to systematize that and how to take it to this extraordinary scale that you see here with an organization which is touching 1 million children every year. There is nothing like that I've seen in the world. In my experience, I've learnt a huge amount of watching here about how to systematize and how to take to scale. And a lot of this is absolutely astonishing. So in the evaluation, you work with groups of children, you study them before, you study them afterwards, you get completed questionnaires from the children so you can assess how their thinking has developed. And I see these evaluation programs taking place around the world, and maybe they have 200 kids who are in the program, maybe it's 500 kids. Here last year, Agastya surveyed and evaluated 70,000 children on the impact of its programs. And that database in itself is of enormous value. It's a much more in-depth look at children than I have seen anywhere in the world, because of Agastya's commitment to always taking this to scale. How can we do it? How can we do it better? So for me, learning about that and how you put in systems that do go to scale, and how you focus on the training of your own staff and then the teachers and then the children, and how that percolates all the way down, and how you constantly innovate with coming up with new programs like the Innovation Hub or the Art Laboratory and all those things that are going on. It's just this multitude of new ideas being tested and rolled out and taken there. I think working with the teams who are at the cutting edge there and are thinking about those problems, it's incredible how open they are to talking, how undefensive they are about the discussions. There's no, yeah, but we've discovered this is the way to do it and we're always going to go on. It's about, we're finding this is a bit difficult, what do you think? Oh, that's really interesting. Yeah, oh, that's really interesting. And this creative process, which seems to flow through the organisation, and this openness to new ideas and comments and discussion and thinking. And a lot of the things which came out of our discussions, I didn't come with a preset idea, this is how you should do it, but it was a creative conversation we were having together, which was leading to new ideas and new solutions beginning to emerge. And it's an amazing compliment to the Agastya staff of how they are able, after 15 years, to be still going, it's not good enough, we want it better, we want new ideas, we need to go on in that process and engage in those kind of discussions. And the other thing is that once you have an idea here and something happens, the speed with which Agastya is able to implement those ideas. The fundamental problem with education systems around the world is they find it takes such a long time to change anything. And Agastya, by working as an NGO outside that system, is able to convert ideas and new approaches within weeks into something which is happening in a classroom somewhere. which is a new model which has come up, which is a new activity, which has been converted and is now being deployed with a group of teachers in a completely different part of India. And I think there is a huge amount for education systems to learn from the dynamism of Agastya. And what Agastya is showing is this is the way to make it happen, and this is the way to make it happen fast. There are 200 million children in India growing up, and we can't sit around and wait to work out whether we've got quite the right idea or we've got the approval of the right people to be introducing this idea and to percolate. We need agencies like Agastya who have the capacity to have an idea and make it happen fast, so those 200 million children aren't left waiting for new ideas, who haven't left education by the time the new approaches are integrated, but can actually do it now. And that's really astonishing. So I think there's a huge amount for the world to learn from here. And it's amazing how open Agastya is to learning from the world at the same time. And therefore, it's an amazing place for fantastically creative conversations.